With so much software available in the short-term rental industry these days, it's increasingly difficult to keep up to date with what's on the market and to determine whether it's a maybe or a must-have for you and your business. So meet one provider each week in a short interview, learning what they do and what they offer. So if you have around 15 minutes to spare, it could prove to be a very good investment to stick around. So let's see who and what is out there, one by one, with me, Deborah Larby, also known as the Guest Inspector. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Techsplained with the Guest Inspector. Do you know how well your competitors are doing? Are you familiar with their nightly rates? How do you keep your rates up to date when future event dates are announced? Keeping your rates fluid based on a number of factors takes a lot of expertise and time. How much of these do you have when it comes to your nightly rates? You could be missing out if you're not using a dynamic pricing solution. And today we're learning about one of those solutions. Today I'm chatting with Alessandro from PriceLabs. Hello, Alessandro. How are you?
Hi, Deborah. I'm very well. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Now, I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Alessandro, I'm going to launch straight into it. The usual question. Are you please tell me, what does PriceLabs do in one sentence?
Yeah, sure. So PriceLabs does basically pricing. So we are a revenue management platform for vacation rentals, short-term rentals. Properties.
Right. Okay. Now, I can see from your website that you have three sort of services or branches: the pricing, the portfolio analytics, and the market dashboard. Can we start with the pricing? So what is it as a property manager? I'm coming to you. How does it all work for me? How do I get my listings on board and things like that?
Okay, so what the Dynamics pricing tool does is basically our core product. Yeah, so we are producing a daily rate, and we are syncing it with your PMS and or your channel daily. Every 24 hours, we produce a new rate and we sync it with your PMS. So you will be able to have updated rates every day going forward. It can be an open calendar 365 days, or in some cases even up to 720 days with new rates every day. Yeah, so we look at some demand pattern in your area. We are able to observe the behavior of the demand in your area, meaning how many guests are booking in your area in any specific date. And considering this factor together with other factors as seasonality, for example, day of the week, bank holiday, and so on, we are modifying your base price. So in the beginning, you will be asked to add a base price, which will be fluctuating every day. So we make the modification on a base price that you previously set during the onboarding. We supporting in this decision. We provide a tool. It's called the Base Price Help tool. So with that tool, you will be able to get suggestion on which will be a good base price to start. And
that includes, like, you know, if I have a great view or a pool, you'll take all of that into account into the base price.
Exactly. So basically, the tool works this way. There are three segments. So you will need to decide in which segment you would like to place your listing. You can decide if it's on the economical side, on the standard, on the higher end of the market. And then you can, in between every segment, you can pick your category. And then we provide a suggestion, basically. But then also it's a good way to start, because then after you start, you should perceive the feedback of your market, meaning how many, to make it simple, how many bookings you're receiving and with which amounts. And if that accomplish with your expectation, then you can keep going. Otherwise, you can modify the base rate, selecting a higher base rate or a lower base rate.
Yeah. So based on the days of the week, this is a little bit like air travel, like, you know, book on a Wednesday and it's cheaper, fly on Wednesday. So
it's not much about when you book. It's more about when the stay starts. So in locations that are very weekend focused, our algorithm knows that should increase the pricing. In locations that are more, for example, offices and more during the week, that also there are, then we know that we can higher up the pricing a little bit more during the week. But mostly like the most common scenario will be the weekends.
And also seasonality. So you already project the prices, the base price is already going to go up in summer, but then you fine tune it getting closer to the time given the demand.
So yeah, basically we'll work this way. We have a record of seasonality per area, obviously. Yeah? So that value, that factor will be fixed. So it doesn't fluctuate as the demand factor does. Yeah, it's per area. And relating to booking window that you were mentioning, we do apply a far out factor. So we think a little bit on the opposite way than the flight company are thinking, because we are trying to increase a little bit the pricing progressively, gradually, when the booking window is higher, for two reasons. First reason will be we have still a long time to get the booking, so why don't you try to get a little bit more? Second reason will be maybe there are new events coming into town. There are changes in events that before we're going to spot the new demand to get a little bit of coverage long term.
Now, also on your website, it says something about occupancy trends, pricing and occupancy trends. What's occupancy trends?
Occupancy trends, where it was mentioned about how the algorithm works. Basically, sure. The occupancy, the algorithm, what they look at is that the behavior of the demand. Yeah, so how many guests are coming in your area again, and with which frequency are booking. But yeah, also another value will be what's the supply. So that will be also part of the calculation. Yeah, so obviously there is a higher supply still available, then the demand factor will be lower. Then the supply it's low, will increase the demand factor. But what the algorithm look at, it's basically how many guests are booking in your area. Yeah.
Because I also was saying about new bookings and cancellations. You can see the, I suppose this is the market dashboard. I'm jumping ahead. But it's interesting to see that, you can actually access how many new bookings. And I suppose that is the demand. And you can monitor the new bookings coming through. You can actually see the demand coming through.
Yeah, you can see the demand, because you will see, if you go over with the cursor and any numbers on the calendar, you will see which factor will apply in every day. We won't have any surprise. You will always know what this value is for seasonality, this value is for demand, and then there are your personalization.
Yeah. Okay. Now, also, you do last minute adjustments, or the property manager can set last minute adjustments.
Yeah, we do last minute adjustments, which could be a fixed percentage, meaning for booking coming in the next 10 days, I always apply a 10% discount. Or it can be a gradual percentage, for example, 30% over the next 15 days. If somebody comes today for today, books today and come today, will be 30% discount. Today for tomorrow, 28, after tomorrow, 26. 15 days out, 2%. So it's a gradual percentage. Or you can have just a fixed amount as a last minute price. But with last minute, sorry if I add something here. With last minute, it depends on the market, because typical, it's everybody applying last minute discounts. But when we do like a consulting call with us, we try to understand if that it's really needed, because it's not always needed, because also your guests are last minutes, and also you should see how many booking you receive last minute. If you don't receive any booking and you notice that you still have some spots available, it makes sense. But if you're already booked so much last minute and your occupancy is high, maybe adding a last minute discount is not the best choice. You should evaluate it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about orphan days. So orphan days are the little gaps in between bookings. So you can set so that it would change your minimum night stay and do a special deal.
Yeah, automatically, basically, there are booking that are dates that are not bookable because they are not accomplishing with the minimum stay restriction. Yeah, so you have a booking 3 nights, two night gaps, another booking 3 nights, and your minimum stay is 3. So that 2 nights in the middle, it won't be bookable because of the rule. So with PriceLabs, you can say, okay, if that gap, if there is a gap of 2 nights, open it automatically and charge anything on the top of the pricing for that gap to be open. for you to compensate those costs that you might encounter to have an extra booking shorter, or provide a discount if you're really looking into maximizing occupancy. Giving also always the minimum stay rule as a priority, obviously.
Yeah.
And then adding into this, which I think we are also very good on this point, we are able to create what we call a minimum stay profile, which is composed by your minimum stay rule, orphan gap rule, which can have a different level, last minute minimum stay, providing a different minimum stay for last minutes, and far out minimum stay. If a booking comes 90 days out, increase the minimum stay, for example. We can create what we call a profile, a bucket of these rules, and assign it per season. So you might be able to open gaps in high season and not in low season, and you can work in different way per season.
What about this scenario? Because I've just come across this scenario. So Easter 2023, you would expect that if you're a property manager, you want the 4 days of Easter booked, at least arriving on Thursday and leaving Monday night or Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
With something in advance like that, and it's a public holiday, is there a way you can say, without me having to go, oh, when's Easter next year? It can PriceLabs offer that I want all of Easter booked?
All the Easter booked, yeah. So, yeah, cool. That will be like, from what I see, like a close to arrival, close to departure rule. So right. Check-in, check-out restrictions. Yeah. You can do it with PriceLabs. It's available with not all the PMSs that we integrate with, many of them, I would say. So we'll be only creating a specific rule for that set of days. Yeah. And say, okay, in this day, during these days, I check in only in the dates in the beginning of the period. Yeah. So you guarantee to, and then if the checkout is not allowed in any of the other days, then it will do. Otherwise, you can create a minimum stay rule with only close to check-in to a certain day. Basically,
that if you're going to book Good Friday, you must book the next 4 days as well. You can't be leaving on Easter on Sunday. So yeah, if you can do that, that's great.
Exactly.
Good. And price, minimum stay, future dates, etc., etc. Okay, seasonality, all done. Okay, so then we're going to look at portfolio analytics. And how does all that work then?
Yeah, portfolio analytics is a very powerful tool in my opinion. It's basically dashboard with metrics and KPI relating to your portfolio, your total portfolio, to a group of listing in your portfolio, or to a single listing only, if you wish. So you're going to observe different metrics, for example, average occupancy, average daily rate, RevPAR, and booking window, length of stay. And the good thing is that you can compare it with the previous period. So you can see in which point you have been improving, where you have some margin of improvement, or where you have been underperforming. You have to basically adapt another strategy. It's also helping the booking window data. It's also helping about last minute discounts, and the length of stay. It helps to understand what could be a good minimum stay rule for your portfolio. And then as last, you're able to download a PDF file with all this data. So as a property manager, it's very cool to go to your owner and say, look, your portfolio is been performing this way. Your set of listing has been performing this way. So it looks professional on a property manager's perspective to be able to show the data to the owner with several topics in it.
That's great. And then you also have the market dashboards. So this is the analytics one. Analytics is your property, your properties, and then the market one is the city or the local area. Bigger picture.
Exactly. Great. Exactly that. Bigger picture. You can get into. You can when you create the dashboard, you can decide to create it for 1,000 listings or for 5,000 listings if you want a wider area, basically, depending also on the location that you are making the lookup. So it's very helpful to know performances, KPI, and metrics about the market where your listings are located, to compare the data from portfolio analytics with the data coming from market dashboard, so you can compare your performance with your market. Or it's also very useful to basically investigate on a market where you would like to invest. For example, you're looking into getting a new property somewhere else, and you would like to understand how that market is performing, and then may understand if the investment will be worthy if you want to start to work with that property and how much you could make in a year, for example. And it's also a good tool to, when the owner tell you how much I can make with this. Yeah, so you can basically create a concept in the neighborhood, in the area relating to your criteria. And then you can say, okay, more or less for these characteristics in this area, you can get more or less this. We can do more or less this. Yeah, so it's good to make an estimation about the revenue and anything else of a listing that you're looking to invest in.
Yeah. Now, look, one of my questions has always been, for those property managers who are not so experienced, they're small, or they're wanting to grow, they get all of this data, they can see it all, right? But to really have a strategy about what you're going to do and plan, can you advise them with the data that you show them? Can you help guide them to use it properly?
Yeah, definitely. We have we are helping with onboardings. We in between our department, which is the sales solution consultant department, and the product specialist team, we are assisting basically the property managers about anything they need. Yeah, but also we have we put lots of energy into the knowledge base. So many times it's also enough to go and look at the knowledge base. If it's not enough, you can get in touch with us. We are always available through email, or there is a product chat, and we'll be able to help with the setup and to solve any doubts.
Great. So that knowledge base is just to teach the property managers what to do with the data and
exactly. Knowledge base also from the product. You have like the classical question mark, and you get redirected to the knowledge, to that page, and you can see what the feature is doing and get more insight about every feature.
Yeah, great.
And if you're looking into more strategy, tactics kind of decision, you can get in touch with us.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the thing is, there are dynamic pricing companies out there. Why would I use PriceLabs? What's the difference?
So like you said, there are many dynamic pricing companies. Everybody looks like we are doing more or less the same. So I think I will focus on 3 points to mention about PriceLabs. The first thing will be like everyone, it's the scraping data, you can get the data. Yeah, you can buy the data, you can have an IT team scraping the data for you, but then the data needs to be filtered, elaborated, and put into context. Yeah, that's the hardest part of it, because you need to clean up the data. From the OTA, you can get anything, you can get dummy pricing, people pricing higher to don't get the booking. So we have a data science team composed by 10 plus people that are basically working on this data and try to optimize it. So I think that is one of our PowerPoints. Then as a second point I can mention would be the capability of handling different sizes of portfolio, from 1 listing to 1,000 listings. Yes, so our system is very capable to work with any sort of portfolio. With big, large property managers, we do have a hierarchy system, so we are able to create different set of customization on 3 levels, on the account or on a group level or on a listing level, and then we are able to assign it in bulk per listing. So it's very useful for large property manager to don't streamline the management and waste as less time as possible, which is one of the goals of using PriceLabs. Then as a third and last, well, there are more, but as a third PowerPoint, I will mention some interesting features that we have that are not very common in the market. As for example, occupancy-based adjustments. Apart from taking into consideration the demand in your area, we are also able to make pricing strategy on your own internal occupancy. That can be on a list for 1 listing, or it can be for a group of listings. So we have a table that we apply, that you have basically a day range and occupancy. So you're relating days range with occupancy. Where your occupancy is very high, we are increasing the pricing. If occupancy is low, we are decreasing the pricing. Try to improve the performance of a listing or a group of listings, and making them working in synergy. So to potentiate potentially the underperforming getting more occupancy and the overperforming getting more revenue. Then we have another interesting feature that we launched recently, which is basically the minimum stay suggestions. So we look at the minimum stays patterns in your area, and we suggest what we think would be a good minimum stay in order to maximize occupancy.
Yeah. It's all very good.
Some features, some stuff, yeah.
Right. So what would be my benefit if I sign up with PriceLabs? What do I get? What you promise to me?
Yeah. We promise to you that basically you will be, the goal will be saving time and streamlining the whole management, getting into process. If you're scaling, then you have already a system set up and you don't have to worry about pricing anymore. And then increasing your revenue and increasing your occupancy and your revenue, or both.
Right.
Basically,
okay.
Those are the two goals of using PriceLabs.
Yeah. Now, you did already touch on sort of the size company. So you, even someone with one listing or someone with thousands. So in terms of size, you can accommodate anyone.
Exactly. We can accommodate from one listing to 1,000 listings. Yeah. With 1,000 listings, obviously there will be that customization. It would be very useful. All the hierarchy about customization. And with one listing, if you are like an owner or you're not you're an experienced property manager, it's a good way to start because you can just plug and play PriceLabs and give it a go and try. And then you will have pricing straight away, and you will have all a set of rules. We apply some default customization that we think are good to start. So yeah, we can accommodate every size portfolios for property managers.
Great. And where is your target audience? Is it a global audience?
Yeah, we are operating globally because we are able to get the data globally. But obviously, anywhere there is a vacation rental market.
Yeah. And cost. Now, given that you've got these three features, how does the pricing work?
Yeah, pricing works. We have a pricing structure. So basically, more listings you are syncing with us, cheaper per listing it will be. And then this for the dynamic pricing tool. Yeah, it can go from $19 to $4 or $5. It depends on the size of your portfolio per listing.
But it's a monthly fee.
Yeah, it's a monthly fee. We have no lock-in. The whole goal will be you really having benefits from the use of PriceLabs. If it's not like this, you don't need a revenue management system. You need to be able to do more revenue and save time, because we look into your account. If there is an issue, we try to understand why, because that will be your goal. If it's not like this, you don't need a revenue platform. Yeah. Then we have portfolio analytics, which is included with the dynamic pricing tool, which will be actually for free. And then we have a market dashboard, which has a cost of $10 per dashboard. We give a free credit when you start for you to try. And then if you create a new dashboard, it will be $10. And if the dashboard keeps is refreshing every day, taking the market data every day, but if it keeps refreshing after 1 month, then it will be $10 per month.
Right. Okay. So all of the pricing is a monthly fee and based on number of listings as well. There's no percentages. Okay.
Exactly. No percentages, monthly fee fixed.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And is there a contract? You mentioned that there's no lock-in, so you can start and it's month to month.
Yeah, it's month to month. We charge per synced listing in a billing period. If you if you integrate 50 listings and you only sync 10, we charge those 10. But then you will see that it's more fit to sync more, because then you will get more benefit, and then the price per listing will be cheaper. So at the end of the day, our clients are ending with syncing the whole portfolio when possible.
Yes. Right. Okay. Well, we've come to the end of the usual questions. Was there something that I forgot to ask, or something that we need to know about PriceLabs we should know?
No, I'm not sure. about this, yeah, we are very stable at the moment. We are growing so good. We are receiving a very good feedback from the market in relation to our product. So I will give it a try if you're looking into like a dynamic pricing tool.
And you do have a free trial, right? 30-day free trial.
Yeah, we do offer a free trial. So in that month free trial, you can like configure your listing with our help or on your own, and then in 1 month you can already see some result. So at the end of the month, you can say, okay, I always suggest to configure straight away when you create an account, because then you have in sync, and then you have a month to test it, and then you can compare that month using PriceLabs with the same another month before or with the previous period, and see, okay, with PriceLabs in generating this is our cost, is the net worth it, not worth it? It's numbers, so it should be pretty straightforward decision.
Yeah, that's great. Well, if you have any questions for Alessandro or PriceLabs, pop them in the comments below. I will put a link for PriceLabs if you'd like to learn more. Alessandro, thank you very much for explaining PriceLabs to us.
My pleasure, Deborah. Thank you very much to you for the opportunity, and keep going with the interviews, because it was very nice for me to look at other interviews, because, out there in our industry, many names are very similar. You see new products, and it's very nice to see what's out there.
Thank you. And it's been really great for me to learn about them too. There is a lot out there. Okay. Thank you, Alessandro. Ciao, ciao.
Pleasure. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you'd like to catch up on the ones you've missed, just head to the Techsplained That's for the longer interviews. But if you don't have time, you can always catch the short ones, the Tech Minis. Just head to thetechminis.com for extra short interviews. See you next time.